In this video, I'm going to look at augmenting the Twitter bot that I made in the previous video to post an image. And where will that image come from? That image is going to be something that I draw through another program. And so this is the video where I combine this thing called processing with this other thing called Node, which I've been using to communicate with the Twitter API. So let's just sort of diagram how this is working. So I have this Node.js program called bot.js. And bot.js has a connection via the twit package to the Twitter API. And what bot.js can do is it can post a tweet, every n seconds, or it can post a tweet based on an event, like a follow, any sort of thing. And one of the things it can send with these tweets is an image. So there certainly are Node packages, and you could use Python or any number of programming languages to generate images to post to Twitter. But a particular programming environment that I love and use a lot that has a ton of functionality for drawing, whether it's 3D and shapes and vector shapes or image processing or getting live feeds from a camera or reading from a sensor. There's so much that you could do with this thing called processing. Now, you might be saying, like, I don't get that. I know processing, but this doesn't make any sense. Because if I launch processing and I just go to examples and I open up some particular example like simulate, and I go to flocking and I run this particular example, you can see there's this window and there's this editor and I have to press play and then it runs into an animation. Like, how does any of that have to do with Node? Well, it turns out one of the features of processing that you may or may not be aware of is there is something called command line processing. Command line processing is a way that you can say from the command line, the terminal, the thing that I've been showing you in all of these videos, you can say processing -java, right? We said from the command line node bot.js. You can say processing -java, the name of your sketch. Now there's a little bit more to it than that, but the idea is that you can execute the processing code from the command line. So if you can execute the Node program from the command line, you can execute the processing program from the command line. Can you execute Node and have Node execute processing? And the answer is yes. So this is essentially what I would like to show you how to do. So let's look at some of the pieces here first of getting that set up. So one of the first things that you need to do, by the way, is this isn't a feature that's automatically available to you on your system. So what you need to do is look under, if you have processing running on your computer, look under Tools and look under Install Processing.java, processing-java. So I'm going to click Install Processing-java. I'm going to hit Yes. I'm going to enter in my password for my machine, and hopefully it's going to work. And I'm going to know if it works by now when I come to terminal and do I'm going to get some information. So you can see that didn't seem to do anything, but only because I have this giant font. You can see here that command line addition for processing 0. You can see that it's there. And it's giving you some information about what you need to add to it in order to run your processing sketch. So let's make a processing sketch that we can run from the command line now. I'm tempted to draw a rainbow or something, but let's just make something really very, very simple. I'm going to type in, let me make the font a little bit bigger. If you haven't seen processing before, welcome, editor font size 36. Welcome to processing. I have a setup function where I'm going to make a size of a window. In the setup function, I'm going to write a loop to say, 500 times, draw a circle. And what am I going to do with this circle? Let's pick a random x value somewhere in the pixel space, a random y value somewhere in the pixel space, and let's pick some random colors, and a random green color, blue color, and then I'm going to say no stroke, no fill, fill, R0B, and draw the ellipse at that location, 16 by 16. Oops. And so first, and we make this 640 by 360, which is a nice aspect ratio, auto format. So let me run this program, and I'm missing another curly bracket just to end setup. Now, processing is a sophisticated environment where there's an animation loop and all sorts of, but I just want to render a static image. So I just want to run all of my code only in setup. And when I run this, you can see that's what I get. So maybe I should add like a gray background, and maybe I actually want to do 5,000 of these circles, and maybe I want to give them a little bit of alpha, and I'm going to run it one more time. And you can see, there we go. This is my beautiful picture that I have made with processing. And just to have something to demonstrate each time. So let's now see. So what is the next thing that I want to do with this program? The next thing I want to do is I want to save to a file, and I'll call that file output.png. Now let me save the actual sketch. And I'm going to save the sketch in my Node 5 directory. This is where I'm actually working on the bot right now. So I'm going to save this sketch. I'm going to call it rainbow, even though it's not really drawing a rainbow. And if I run the sketch, and I run it, I can see now if I go into the directory, there's now a PNG file called output.png, which is that image. So I have a processing program that runs, it draws an image, it renders the image out. So all I need to do now is have Node trigger the processing program, have processing draw the image, save it, have Node pick up that image, and send it to Twitter to tweet it. Okay, so how do we get these steps? Now, a couple things. One thing I might add to this program is I'm just going to add the function called exit at the end, because I kind of want to just see it run, do its thing, and quit. Because I don't really need to keep that window open, so that's going to be useful. And now I should be able to run this program from the command line. So let's come back to here. And how do we do that? Processing-java. I'm going to try to imagine what the next thing I type is, because I don't totally remember. Something like -- sketch equals. So often with things that you trigger from the command line, you need a set of arguments or parameters that kind of modify how it's working. So I want to have my sketch be equal to, and this is a really strange thing I'm going to do. I'm going to put tick. I think that's it's sort of like this backwards apostrophe thing that's like shift, just under the tilde next to the 1 on my keyboard. PWD. What this is doing is, remember PWD is a command for Unix, for command line, that means print working directory. And what that's going to do is automatically fill here the directory that I happen to be in, because I need the path to where this processing sketch is. And then / the name of my sketch, rainbow, -- run. So -- run means I want to run that sketch. The sketch that I want to run is called rainbow in this directory. Now I probably got this wrong. Let's see if this works. It doesn't exist. So first of all, I'm in the wrong. Well, one reason it doesn't exist is I'm in node 4 set interval. So I'm in the wrong folder. So what I want to do is go back up a directory and go into node 5. You can see that's where that rainbow folder is. So that's one reason why it didn't work. So I'm going to add, by the way, the up arrow is what I'm pressing to get back to previous commands. I'm going to try it again and really hope it works. Well, something's going on, something's happening. Oh, I see it. And it's still there. Why isn't it quitting? That's strange. Let's go. Did I not hit save? Was I already running it? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have processing open. Save changes to rainbow. Yes, it did finish eventually. Let's try it again. There we go. So you can see that it did it. I just want to do this all day long. Trigger processing programs from the command line. It's totally fun. So all you need to do is install processing.java, have the argument -- sketch equals the name of your sketch, and then -- run. And now, watch this. What I want to do is take this, exactly this line of code, and bring it in to my Node program. So I'm going to say var command equals that. So all I need to do is now have Node figure out a way to execute that command. Now, how do you do this? So something that Node is a process. A Node program is this thing called a process. And a Node program can have child processes, things that it triggers that happen while that particular node process is running. And so the way that you get access to that is through another call to require. And I have that, I already have my example up here. So what I need is this particular require. So this is the require statement where I want to make a variable called exec for like execute, and I want to require something called child process. It's a package that's built into Node, and get the executable thing from that. So if I grab that and I put that here, now I can say exec command, and then I'm going to just write, the callback is going to be processing. So in other words, what this will do, and I'm going to say console.log finished. And I'm going to comment out the Twitter stuff now. So all this program is doing now is importing this child process thing, this requiring this element that's part of Node, so that this command that I know works can be executed just like I would typing it into the console itself. And when it's finished, call this function that I've called processing. So now, right, so this we know, typing this we know runs the processing sketch. We see it happen. Now, if I type this, we should also see the processing sketch run and finished. Okay, that was really exciting that worked, because I'm a little scared. I only figured out how to do this last night. So this is great. And since that processing sketch is always making an image that's in the same directory with the same name, I can now post that image to Twitter. So let's get a little further here. So now that we know here, now there's, by the way, there's some, when you look at my example at our post, there's some arguments you can put in here. You can get more information about what's happening with the process and if something went wrong with it. But for us right now, we just want to know that this is the function. We know that when this function executes, the image has been made. So we can actually go and tweet that image. So what I want to do is basically take everything that I had before. I don't need set interval. Oh yeah, I do need set interval, sorry. What I want to do, yes. What I want to do, let's think about this for a second, right? What do I want to do? I want to execute this command in the function tweetIt. Because every time I tweet, and I'm not going to worry about the interval just yet. Every time I tweet, right? This is what I want to do in that function. When the tweeted function occurs, the first thing I want to do is trigger processing to run. And then now, once processing has run, here inside of this function, that's where I need to open the image from the file, from the, I have the window open, it's very loud. I need to open the file from the hard drive and upload that file to Twitter. So I'm going to go to my sort of pre-made example again. And this is this kind of crazy looking line of code that I'm going to bring into here. It's the next piece of what we need. If you're kind of trying to type along, you could pause here. And I need to stretch this out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is break this up in a few. The file name for us is what? If I go to the Finder here, this is the project we're in. Rainbow is the processing sketch. So the file name is rainbow/output.png. So it will always be rainbow/output.png. And I've got this other line of code, fs.readFileSync. So guess what? There's another Node package called fs for file system. This is a Node package that allows you to read files. You don't actually have to add it as a package, it just comes with Node. So it's another require that I need up here. So I'm going to add var fs equals require fs. So now I can use the function read file sync. And here I just need to give it the file name. And again, I'm going to give it some parameters. I'm going to break this into multiple lines of code so you can follow along more easily. It's very, very basic here. Actually, what I want to do is I'm going to use an encoding known as base64. So So now you can see to read a file, I need the file name and I need to say like how I want to read it. And reading it as base64 is a kind of encoding for how the data of the file will actually be read into the computer's memory, right? I need to store all the data from that file in a variable. So I'm calling that variable b64 content. Probably because some other example I pulled this from had that as the variable name, but it makes sense. So this now has all the information for that file. This has the information that I want to pass to the Twitter API. So once I have that read, I'm going to go back to my example, and you can see, like, look, there is another. Now I'm doing just like exactly what we did before. Remember, tweet post is a call to the API where I want to post something, and the thing that I want to post is a status update. But now what I want to do is post a media upload. And that media upload has data associated with it that's b64 content. And I'm going to make this variable name less so you can kind of see it all here a little bit better. So you can see this is the post, media upload. This is the stuff that needs to be associated with that post. And then what is uploaded? Uploaded is a callback for when the information has been uploaded. So a little nuance here is that I first have to upload the image before I can post the tweet. So I'm not actually tweeting yet. I'm just uploading some media to Twitter associated with my account. Once that's done, I can have an ID associated with that media that I could then tweet with that media. So now what I need is, the uploaded function. So I need to write function uploaded. I need to have this particular callback. Once I have this particular callback, this is where I will tweet, because the image will be ready and I can then tweet with the image. So let's look at how we might do that. So if I look back at my example, you can see one thing is there are some arguments associated with this particular callback. The key one that I need is data, because data is going to have an ID. I need a numeric index, an identifier for that image that I uploaded, because the image has been uploaded, but now when I tweet, I need to refer to that image. And the way that I do that is through something like this. And I'm just going to call it ID, right? You can see media ID string is part of the data object that comes back. And if I have that ID, now what might I do? I'm now going to create an object, right? This particular object, my tweet object, the same exact thing I always used to do. I could say, just going to say, coding rainbow is the hashtag, live from Node.js. And then I'm going to need, that's the status, but my tweet now doesn't just have a status associated with it. It has one other thing. And what is that other thing? It is a media ID. Now there could be multiple IDs. So in this case, I just have one, right? So I need to put it in an array, but you could have 5 images associated with the particular tweet. And actually one of my favorite bots is Ominous Zoom bot that just tweets 4 images, each one slightly more zoomed in on the next one. And I like to look at it and just go, dun, dun, dun. But I guess I need 4 of those. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. Anyway, you try that at home and you can probably improve on what I'm doing. But you can see here now, this is my tweet. It's this plus the ID for that image. Okay, so then of course I need to actually post it, which is what we've already done so far. Status is update the particular tweet, the tweeted callback. And look, I already have that callback down here. So all this other stuff from the random number bot can go away. And I can just keep the tweeted function. So let's make sure I'm all set here. And there's a lot of like nested stuff here now. So first, the tweeted function, we know executing processing works. We know it generates this file name. Then we read the file, we post. We have this callback for posting the tweet. We have this callback for when it's done. And this is all inside the function processing, which is inside the function tweeted. So I think I'm missing one curly bracket here. So you can see this should line up now, right? Tweeted starts everything. We execute the command line. When that's done, we execute processing. We read the file. We upload it. When it's uploaded, there's so many nested callbacks here, right? You can sort of like see this nested structure. First, execute the command. When that's done, this function. Then post the upload the media. When that's done, call this function. And then in that function, post your status update. And when that's done, call this function to say something went wrong or it worked. Okay, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Moment of truth. This is a 20-minute video, building this ever so slowly. Let's see if this actually works. I don't have a good feeling about this, but I'm going to give it a try. So let me make sure I'm in the right place. Node 5, node bot.js. Okay, first of all, processing ran. Okay, that's good. I know, I'm just waiting, hoping it worked. Okay, it says it worked. Okay, let's go to Twitter, and I'm going to go to my Twitter page for this A to Z account, and I'm going to hope. There we go. We can see, look, that image is posted to Twitter. This is like the most beautiful site I've ever seen. So this is an image drawn in processing, posted to Twitter. Now, again, there's really nothing. This is a trivial result because every image is going to be kind of the same thing, and it's just a bunch of like purplish, pinkish dots on the screen. But imagine the possibilities of what you might be able to do with a generative algorithm that's going to post a different image every single time. And of course, what you might be able to do if you tie into like Google image search with that, or if you tie, mashing up with other APIs, or if you're downloading images from other users. There's a wide range of possibilities there. So this is where I'm finishing this particular video, and I will get to more scenarios with a bit more features. But one thing that might be on your mind is this seems to only run on your laptop, right? So are you meant to like just leave your laptop open and have this thing like running forever and ever and ever and never close your laptop if you want to have a Twitter bot? So you do need to deploy this somewhere. It's a little bit tricky because you don't just, lots of servers will run Node, but what servers will run Node and processing for you? So I will soon show you a tutorial where you can do this using an Amazon EC2 instance, using tricking processing into thinking that there is a screen associated with it. So processing, you can see that window launches, and it's fine because on this computer there is a windowing system, but on a server there's often not a windowing system. So deploying is another topic for yet another video. So I will get to that at some point soon. So hopefully you found this useful and helpful and interesting, and you make something with it, and you tell me that you made something with it, and share it. And thanks for tuning in. And we're gonna go have some lunch. I've actually been recording videos now today for 2.5 hours. And so if this video wasn't any good, it's because of that. And thanks, and I'll see you guys soon.